Hello and welcome to Thailand, of all places. Now this video is going out a while after my trip, so I'm back in London now, but I'm sure you'll have seen this entire week plastered all over Instagram. I haven't shut up about it. It's been such an incredible time. It is beautiful here. It is just silly. It's silly how beautiful it is. What happened was a company called Destinology got in touch and said, would you like a lovely luxury holiday to Thailand? And I said, absolutely I would, thank you very, very much. And so I dragged my friend Reb Day. We've been here for a week now. We were in Bangkok at first, now Phuket, and I'm currently in the Surin Hotel in Phuket. We were in the banyan tree before. But when I arrived here to my room yesterday, I saw this gorgeous reading nook in the window and I thought, oh, that'll be a lovely place to read a little excerpt from my book. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read you an excerpt from the first chapter called Muscle Memory. I am reading from my phone. I'm sorry. I wish I had a book in my hands to read from, but I don't have a physical copy of the book yet, so phone it is, and I hope you enjoy. Here we go. Sleep wouldn't come, and I was desperate for it. Every time I closed my eyes, I was met with a flurry of memories that seemed to lash against the inside of my head. They came to me unbidden, the good and the bad ones, the significant and the banal, and among the debris I saw fragments of a life I might have lived. If I'd just done this, if I'd just said that. I played out every scenario, every what if 100 times and more, and I never reached a solution because there was none. Every morning, somewhere between dreaming and waking, the blurry memory of what had happened slid into focus, and I cried anew for what I'd lost. One night my pain became palpable. My emotions were manifesting as real, physical pain. I lay in bed, hands on my chest in some sort of weird attempt to grab onto my own heart and hold it together. I was sure that it was literally ripping apart inside me. How else could it possibly hurt this much? My mind, too, felt torn. Pieces of it were coming away, and I wondered if I would ever get them back. My body moved about as though independent of me, fists clenching, feet scraping against the sheets. All of me, every inch, agitated and incapable of rest. Somewhere, deep in that night, the pain consumed me. The thought of being happy again was inconceivable. And even though all I wanted was to sleep, the idea of waking up, still here, still feeling this way, was torturous. I thought about the pills then, in my mother's room. There was a whole bottle of them in her dresser drawer. I thought about going in there, returning to my bed with them and swallowing every last one. I walked through it in my mind again and again. And then I realised I'd been here before. A long time ago, I'd been here. I'd felt this hopeless, and I'd found happiness again. I couldn't remember how I came back from the brink, but I knew it was possible, and that's all I needed to know. And so I prayed. Not to God, I don't believe in God. I prayed to the only thing I knew I could rely on, myself. I begged myself to just get me through this night. I told myself that I would be good, I would be strong, and I would never let this happen again if I could just get through this night. Sleep found me. And in the morning the fever had broken. In the days that followed, I thought about grief, how nothing and nobody can prepare you for it. People tell you their stories, but until you experience it for yourself, you can't possibly understand. There's no going around it, or under it, or over it. You've got to go through it. It will hit you in waves so enormous that you are smacked against the shore. It will permeate the very fabric of your life so that everything you do is stained by it. Every moment, good or bad, is seeped in sadness for a while. Even the nice moments, the achievements and successes, are tinged with the knowledge that someone or something is missing. And the first time that you smile or laugh, you catch yourself because happiness feels so unfamiliar. I thought too how like an addict I had been, how similar this was to some kind of detox. I wondered how much of the feeling of love is chemicals and cravings and dependency, and how much of the act of love is habit. Eventually, loving someone becomes muscle memory. You don't even notice it happening. One day you realise you've stopped living together and started existing near to one another. The path you once walked side by side has become two paths which twist and wind their way around each other, occasionally intersecting long enough for a conversation full of clunky exposition that reveals nothing about the characters. You ask what time the other will be home from work, what they fancy for dinner, if they've remembered so-and-so's birthday tomorrow. They tell you about their day with no humour or anecdotes, just a list of events in chronological order. You cook for two, buy toilet roll for two, book train tickets, sign cards and RSVP for two. Your autopilot gets set to 2. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In fact, I think there's something kind of beautiful about it. Your mind and body adapting so deftly to the presence of another person that the mingling of two lives, two stories, two sets of thoughts and beliefs feels effortless. It's possible for someone to occupy a space in your life for so long and in such a specific way that their absence creates a very real sense that part of you is missing. It is indeed beautiful, but when that's all there is, that's not enough. I'd like to tell you there was an inciting incident, a reason why we ceased to function as a couple, but it was more like a slow creeping disdain. In the end, habit was all we had left, and I came to realise that what I'd lost was lost a long time ago. For almost 2 years, our relationship had been the romantic equivalent of a zombie, a walking, talking, undead imitation of us, and it was finally being put to rest. Well, just a little light reading. I hope you enjoyed that excerpt. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching and continuing to watch and continuing to support. It will be out in June and I can't wait for you to read it. See you again soon.